All right.
All right. So thank you, Adedoyin Adetunji, for joining us today on the Google Plus Hangout for Channels Beam. And of course, like the introduction says, we're looking at the cybersecurity. How can people be sensitized and their awareness raised to a higher level? So let's begin with how you can even generally, define cyber threats.
Okay. Just like any other thing in the society, threats are things that um, tends to impact our well-being, or tends to impact some of the functionalities of what we do as a society. So when we talk about cyber threats are a combination of factors, or a combination of things that try to hamper how we use the internet safely. Particularly for businesses, cyber threat is certainly a very, very huge problem for them, because it's something that can cost businesses as much as billions of naira or dollars. So cyber threat is majorly something that tries to affect the normal functionality of how we use the internet, and tries to challenge the status quo of what we use the internet for. It tries to manipulate, and also tries to take advantage of human weakness to exploit people's human weakness to leverage on that for criminal purposes.
All right, so we didn't really get you clearly there. There was a bit of a muffled and here and there. I think the internet is kind of cracking. If you can come again, please.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Now, what I was saying was that cyber threat is majorly what tries to hamper the normal use of the internet. Generally, generally the internet is built for people to communicate. But when we talk about cyber threats, like every other thing in the society, threats are things that try to affect the normal way of life and try to exploit our human weakness for personal gains or criminal purposes. So cyber threats are things that affect the normal functioning of the internet, particularly for big businesses or small businesses. Cyber threat is a big deal for them because it's something that can cost businesses a lot of money, get and also to control if eventually it happens. So majorly, cyber threat is just some of those combination of factors by criminal elements to leverage the internet in a malicious way to get information of people and use that for criminal purposes.
All right. So what simple steps can people take, to perhaps mitigate threats that are already coming in?
Okay. The simple things that people need to do. The truth is, like we discussed in the last meeting at the U.S. consulate, one of the things I mentioned is that a chain is as strong as its weakest link. And when we talk about cyber crime and cyber security, humans are the weakest link. And so part of what we try to do is to educate people on the simple things to do to help them understand what they need to do. Now, as a person, as an internet user, one of the first things you need to understand is that the key to you accessing the internet a lot of the times is your password. Almost every account you have online, you need to create an account password for them. So keeping this key secure is one of the easiest ways to keep yourself secured online. When you use vulnerable passwords, it's very easy for people to get into your account and use it maliciously. When you don't use passwords that are secure, you share your password carelessly with people. Take care of your things the way you would. So your password is more like your key. Because anywhere you go, for example, your social media, your email account, your password is what gets you into those places. And for you to be secured online, one of the first things we always recommend is that you learn how to keep and use a strong password for your accounts. So I would just say for the start, you can start with using a strong password. People, I would always encourage you have antivirus installed on your system and always keep it up to date because it's not just having an antivirus on your system, it's also about keeping it up to date. And the good thing about it today is that things are much better than it used to be today. Today we have, even if you are not willing to spend money on antivirus, we have free antiviruses that can do a whole lot for you than what it used to do. So we can always check online for even free antiviruses. Though we do recommend that you buy a paid antivirus for additional protection, but then for budget constraints or something, we will still advise that you get a free antivirus if need be, at least for some basic protection. So I think those are some of the few things that people can do for a start, and from there you can look into other options.
All right, very well. We understand. I mean, that there is this like active legislation, that was done in 2015, to help security agencies arrest those who are engaged in all of those vices that you made mention of, all those who pose all the security threats or the cyber threats to people who operate online. How helpful has that been?
Okay, well, I think it's been quite helpful. One of the things we do in my organization is to go to schools to train them in cyber security and cyber crime awareness. And we worked with security agencies over the last 2 years. We've worked with international partners over the last 2 years. And in my experience, my personal experience with working with particularly public schools, because when we talk about cyber criminals, interestingly, one of the things we discovered in our work with public schools is that there's that growth. There's that growth in public schools compared to private schools. And in my experience, one thing that I've learned is that most of the kids from public schools, in some ways, they are more vulnerable to being cybercrime and cyber criminals than in public schools. And one of the things we try to do is to bring in security agencies from EFCC and the police to talk to them. And one thing I've learned is that a lot of times when these detectives come and they talk to the students and they tell them, oh, look, this is the law, this is what I want the law stipulates for cyber criminals and all that. A lot of times I'm always very, it's always interesting to see how the students start shifting in their chairs, and because they don't, sometimes those people, cybercrime is just it's online, it's anonymous, you can do whatever you want to do and get away with it. But by the time some of these people come and talk to them and help them see that, look, these are the people we caught doing cybercrime online. This particular person will probably spend like 3 or 4 years in prison. This person will probably not go back to school because he'll be in prison till he's made to graduate and all that. So being able to show them some things, some conviction, being able to show them that, look, this is the law. What would happen to you if you get into cyber criminal activities, in a way has helped some of the students to understand the repercussions of what they can probably potentially want to go into. So I think having the law and also enforcing the law has helped in a good way, because before we used to have a lot of cyber criminals walk on the street and brag about being cyber criminals. That was back then. But today we have the law, we have all that in place today. So people are taking more caution, people are becoming more careful about what they do. We still have them in our midst, but then I think because they understand that we already have the law, we already have certain things put in place, then I think people are becoming more cautious about what they do online.
Okay, so talking about students, I am aware that you do trainings with Facebook and Google, and
yes.
Trying to sensitize people on how to stay safe, or how to
yes.
Conduct themselves online. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, in 2015, we partnered with Facebook, Facebook and Google in February to do what we call the Safer Internet Day, the second week in February. We do it since 2015. We do that, and in one of those times, and asked that, because my organization is the local organizing chapter in Nigeria for Safer Internet Day every year. So Facebook globally, for the global Safer Internet Day, Google is like a partner, so that's a global body. So they came up and wanted to partner with one or two organizations in Africa that were into into cyber security and internet safety awareness. So we got talking to them, and from there we started. So Facebook and Google shared some content with us for us to also share with our students. And last year, we've been using some of the content from Facebook over a period of time. And last year, Facebook launched what they call the Facebook Safety Center, which was to provide resources for people that wanted to learn more about internet security, particularly social media security. How you can keep yourself secured online on Facebook. So they launched that. We launched that in conjunction with Facebook last year, and it's all there online. You just go search for Facebook Safety Center. There are contents there for educators. There are contents there for young people. There are contents there for people, particularly parents that are interested in understanding what they need to teach their kids on how to be safe online. So we've always used those contents from time to time to teach, and we've also shared some of those contents, particularly we have a particular content called Think Before You Share, which we shared more than 5,000 copies in all our trainings over the last 2 years. Now, Think Before You Share just makes it's just a very short content to help particularly teenagers understand some of the few things they can do online. Majorly, if you are on social media, try to think before you share. What are the few tips you need to understand when you're using social media? So, if over a period of time, I think these contents have helped us to be able to reach more people. Because usually when we give out these contents to them, some of the students, because we can't work with the whole school, but we work with groups of students. So part of what we give to them as something to take home is this content. We give them the printouts, which they take to their friends and all that. So I believe it's gone beyond us, and some of the students actually take it up, photocopy it for that student and give it out to their friends, and take it home also for their parents to learn and also to teach other people.
All right. So just in wrapping up, I mean, 2017 had its own share of cyber attacks. How has that been? I mean, because it looked like 2017 kicks off on the same note as 2016 ended.
Well, the truth is, yes, there's I think there has been some level of increase in cyber criminal activities this year, but I think also that's why more and more the reason for awareness is increasing too, because like I said earlier, the weakest link in the cybersecurity argument is the human behavior. About 80% of cybersecurity incidences, if you have to go through statistics, are based on human error or human negligence. So the best way to mitigate some of these things is to train and train. And we also encourage businesses too. It's not just enough to say you are doing businesses. Try to train your staff on what to look out for online. Particularly, I think we've seen a rise in email phishing, malicious emails being sent out to people. I think that was one of the key reasons why we've had an increase in cyber criminal activities, particularly in the country. We've had a lot of emails going out more and more, and people are falling victim, particularly for those that are doing internet banking. Occasionally, we have people that fall victims of all these things and they get their accounts cleared out. So I think we just need to increase our awareness. We need to increase education to help people understand what they need to do while they're online. How can you understand what a malicious email is? All these little things are things that people need to understand, and it's not very hard. I think it's just for people to pay attention to some of these little things. We are in actually a time that people are not too internet savvy, so more and more people that get online, they are also exposed to this vulnerability. So I think as more and more people get online, we will still continue to witness some of these things. But I think the important thing here is education, capacity building for young people, for people that are going online, help them understand what they need to do to keep themselves safe online. And I think with that, we can reduce the incidences of cyber criminal activities around us. And also, businesses also should invest in infrastructure. Try to whatever processes you have in place for businesses, try to put security measures in place to avoid some of these things from happening. And if you remember, one of the key points that were raised in the last meeting we had for the cyber security awareness month was the fact that for businesses, insiders form a bulk of 60% of corporate espionage when it comes to leaking corporate information. So I think businesses also, if a person is leaving your business or is leaving your company, delete his email addresses, delete any access the person would have, or reset the password to accesses that person would have. because it's not just enough for, because the person could go to another company and leverage on the access they have to get information from this other company. So I think business need to pay more attention to their cybersecurity incidences, and also individuals also need to learn and understand that security depends on personal choices too. It's not just the system. You can have a very secure system, but the question is the person using the secure system, how knowledgeable is this person to understand that these are the threats that using this facility or using this system can pose to you. So I think these are just some of the few things that we need to understand and do to help us understand how best to mitigate cyber criminal activities.
All right, Adidiji, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts and perspectives on how one can remain safe online and how one can secure himself as well from cyber threats, cyber criminals as well. Thank you once again for joining us on the program today.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Victor, for having me.